All right, welcome everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you very much for coming with us. I think it's going to be the most technical panel of the day, hopefully. No further ado, let's start. All righty. I'll start with Elias. We keep hearing, generative AI, agentic AI. I've seen some people during this day and yesterday trying to make that distinction, but for us now, the CTOs, do you think it makes a difference? And if yes, what's that difference when we're trying to deploy systems or build these type of systems? And how can we make other people understand the difference? Is it just autonomy? Is it something else?
Nice question. Thanks.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks very much for the question. And it's a great question to start our conversation because, like you said, it will be the most technical conversation. There is often misunderstanding between generative AI and agentic AI. There is confusion. What is the one and what is the other? And most of the times I'm getting that question because all the participants of our customers and our clients, or when I'm being on a session like that, they don't understand the difference between, and there is a difference. And the difference has to do with the intent and autonomy. Generative AI is, as I say, an assistant. It's an assistive AI. It produces outcomes for the user. It's the response of a model about a user question. It will analyze data. It will produce content, or may better say, enrich content. It will offer insights. It will structure the information that the user has given to it, and it's going to help the user to understand the value. The user will use the output. The model will help the user to think, decide, and create content much faster than we do. But the responsibility for the content that is produced is to the user. Think about it. We ask a system, we get back an output. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is a totally different function. It doesn't just produce output, it acts. And when we say it acts, it makes decisions on the data that it gets from other systems, it interacts with other systems, and it produces functions, or let's say it's going to act as a human, so the responsibility and the outcome, it will be the agents, not the human. Generative AI, it is the interactions between human and system. Agentic AI is interactions between systems, so it is machine to machine. That's a huge difference. And that drives a lot all whatever we are going to build. As CTOs, I was a CTO for almost 26, 27 years. We think that we are going to integrate another tool. We're going to implement another tool for doing our job better, faster, quicker, whatever it takes. No. We are going to architect systems that are going to interact by themselves. So we have to think different. Those systems are going to take decisions. You're going to act like as humans. So that's a tremendous change. It's a huge leap technically, ethically, organizationally. The systems will have intent. They are going to act like a user. There will be autonomy. They are going to work without human supervision. So, autonomy what means? Chaos. Are we going to leave the systems to decide by themselves? Are we going to give them the authority to act for us without supervision? No. So we have to design the right guardrails so the system will provide feedback loops, and we're going to assist on what they are going to give to us. And of course, we have to have frameworks that will help us to give the system the ability to act responsibly. And that is a challenge for all CTOs that we have to take. Which is the balance between autonomy and trust? What do we have to do? So, are we going to give the system the ability to run by themselves? Who is going to check them? And I believe that there are going to be tremendous changes on the jobs that we have.
Anyone wants to add anything? Because I think it's a nice segue to my next question for Dimitris, actually. But on that part where you said that we have to be very thoughtful, I think EU regulation, for better or worse, I'm not a huge fan. Although the panel the morning was thinking differently, will for sure at least take care of that thing, or maybe on a more defensive flavor than my taste, but definitely it's taking care of that. So Dimitris, with all that shift to autonomy and agents and stuff like that, for the senior leaders out there, the VPs or the engineering managers or the people that want to try to manage at scale teams, how's that role of the CTO has changed the past 5 years, and what challenges are ahead of us?
Thanks for the question. I don't believe that it has changed a lot in the last 5 years. I think the changes are coming. It's something that's gradually happening. From a CTO perspective, I think the first pillar is that we have to redefine the technology stack. Right? In the last 10 years, we are talking about services, microservices, scaling them, Kubernetes, or user interfaces, and how to increase the velocity of our teams. Right? Right now, let's say the next step is to discuss about agents and autonomous systems that they run. They execute by themselves some processes, internal processes. It depends on the company. How we give them access to data, how to structure that data. So the discussion is shifting from purely technical things to the agentic AI, right? And that's the one thing that is going to happen. So we have to rethink the technical stack. It's not about languages or how to program things. It's about how to combine the AI, the LLMs to build the new systems. For me, it's like the LLMs are the new brick for the next era. One of the challenges the CTO will definitely have is how to manage the cultural shift. Right? Developers will lose the superpowers that they have in some ways, so they have to reinvent themselves in the new era. They have to they have to think about the systems as a whole, not just particular services. They have to be able to combine things to improve agents or provide data to agents, right? And because if you think about it, AI, what LLMs bring actually, or agentic AI brings, is that it gives power to the simple user to build whatever they want, right?
Correct.
like express themselves, and the LLM can build that, right? So in some ways you don't need the engineers anymore, or you have to transfer their knowledge into something that I call deep tech. The last thing that I would like to mention is that, and it's really challenging, is we have to rethink about the user interface. For me, it's not about forms. Up to now, we are building data entry systems and automations on the back end based on existing workflows or the process that each company has, right? So in that sense, right now we don't have to build those interfaces. The interface is the LLM. So it's not about the forms, it's not about building UI, it's about how we interact with that LLM, or rethink how we can do that work in a different way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's these three things: rethinking the technical stack, managing the cultural shift for all stakeholders, and rethink the way we interact with the user. We have to rethink what it means, the user interface in the era of LLMs.
Great. Yeah, and I think that Chat UI seems, after Cloud Code and ChatGPT, I see now the plan mode and others. The terminal UI is coming back probably, or the Clippy for the ones that are a bit older.
I think OpenAI announced that they will integrate Shopify or I think other providers, so you can.
They will. Yeah, they will. They will. Yeah, correct.
The website.
Yeah. The apps. They call it apps. Yeah. We'll come back to that cultural thing. Gerasimus, taking from Dimitris now. All right, we do see the autonomy and the shift from the generative thing to the agentic model, the challenges of the role. Now, when we try to deploy those solutions, what are the challenges there? Are around engineering? Is it governance? Is it the regulation? Is it the organizational structures? What's the challenge when you really try to deploy such a solution?
Before moving to the challenges that the CTO or the organization has, I would like to challenge the word agentic. To be frank, I don't like it at all. It seems like since 2022, after ChatGPT, everything has to do with generative, agents, general. This is too broad, let's say, as a term. I would like to focus on the autonomy that the agentic side brings to the table, because the autonomy provides also the actual challenge of the organization to adopt it. More or less, what we are seeing with agentic AI is an IT robot. It might be because I recently moved to robotics and I always see robots around me, but what we are seeing is a system that accepts inputs, accepts a trigger, and we expect it that it will act autonomously towards a goal. It's very difficult to accept that an IT system will act totally autonomously. Many challenges exist. In the regulatory framework, there are many, but also in the cultural framework of an organization. I see three main pillars of these challenges. First is the information. The agentic AI and the LLMs are as good, it was mentioned a bit earlier as well, as the information that you rely upon. If you put garbage in, garbage out, said one of the gentlemen before, it's a very easy way to say it, but it is very important to base the decisions that the LLM, the agentic AI, will create on actual data and on actual decisions that have already been made. These are systems that are learning from the past, so you have to feed them with comparable situations, you have to feed them with comparable data in order to produce trustworthy results. On the other hand, you have to leave them a little bit to be creative, let's say, as creative an LLM can be. This provides the problem of testing. How can you test the actual output of the system? And these are not deterministic systems. These are not systems that you can test once and you can trust that they will always operate as the first time. These are systems that may operate in a totally different way depending on situational parameters. They need continuous testing, they need continuous compliance mechanism against either actual decision issues, correct or not, or ethical decision issues that are on the table. We may challenge EU AI Act because it's not pro-innovation as, I don't know, we would like it to be. However, the ethical part is here on the table.
Right.
Let's imagine an example. What an agentic AI system could be. Let's say that, it's a bit controversial and simplistic, but let's say that we create an agentic AI system for presenting loans, for offering loans to a bank customer. Theoretically, the bank and the system has information on the transactions of the customer, has history of how well he's doing with his finances. He knows the situation in the market. The agentic AI system knows, he or she, the agentic AI knows the situation on the market, so it could produce a very well-defined outcome on giving a loan or not. Are we ready to accept the decision? I don't think a bank can be at this point ready, and I don't think even the regulator, the European Central Bank, will not be able to accept such a decision, will not be able to accept even the risk factor decision on the loan. The third challenge, so I said that the first challenge is the information, the second challenge is the testing, the third challenge is the governance of all this. This has to be continuous. This is not a system that is deterministic, so if you feed it once with information, then you're done.
Yeah, same input doesn't guarantee same output. Yeah, all right.
Exactly. So you have to set a governance for continuous update, continuous testing, continuous explanation of how it is affecting the decision in the process.
So let me build a bit on that. So I agree with your agentic definition. I think even a model that was from the 90s, the BDI, it might be also, well, the oldest of us do remember it, it's behaviors, desires, and intentions. So I think that was always what defined an agent, and I think that's also what OpenAI still uses internally. So definitely the autonomous and the intent, as you said, Elias, is a key differentiator. But to build on top of what you said, Erasmus, what are now the cultural changes that we need to see within a firm? What does it mean now for the whole firm to adopt that new model of, you know what, we might have some autonomy, but as you said, we will always need HEAL, human in the loop, in order to, you know, I'm coming from banking, so it's heavily regulated. Obviously, we will never get an ECB green light, at least for the foreseeable future, for, you know, a completely autonomous system. But what does it mean? We will need to use those agents. So what do we need to change internally?
Let me say that if I had €1 for every executive meeting that said we need to integrate AI in organization, I would not be here right now.
Probably none of us.
For every technical person that would say, okay, this is not simple. We need to discuss
Correct.
it. I would be
double.
There are many challenges, and the challenges are a combination of fear and of a technical difficulty. Let me move to another example, more technical. related with the CTO. AI and agentic AI can be a great help within the product development of an organization. Code development is one of the first applications that has been identified as a great
Opportunity to deploy such systems, yeah.
How easy is it to deploy an agentic AI automatic or
Autonomous.
autonomous system within the code development of a system of the company? It's not easy at all.
Correct.
Whenever you ask a technical person, most of the people will come back and tell you, we are using it. We have AI help within our system.
Cursor IDE, Copilot, yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
Lovable.
In most cases, these are systems that are on the side of an engineer's day-to-day tasks.
Correct. On the tool belt, it's tools that our engineers want to use.
But it's not a tool that the engineer has to use or is obliged to use.
Correct.
It's a tool that the engineer is free to use. This is totally different when it comes to optimization. You cannot really measure the way that AI optimizes, but not only measures. You cannot only optimize the actual process if it's voluntary, the use of the AI. You have to put it inside the process. You have to put it inside the acceptance of the code, the pull request approval, the test case generation, the documentation creation, the
You're right.
troubleshooting guide of the customer. If you're not putting in line with the process, then whatever you create will not be accepted
Correct.
by the personnel, but will not be also optimized for you to understand how and what benefit it provides to the organization.
I think if I need to double down on that, it's also a matter of trust. It's like how a pilot trusts the autopilot in aviation or stuff like that. So you need to make sure that it's there to help you, and you can always intervene. Like a pilot can always take the steering wheel back.
Let me say that we are not there yet.
Okay.
I would propose for an organization to put it not at autopilot status, meaning I'm leaving it and it will create code for me, it will create tests for me, it will create documentation for me. Don't worry, I'm here to overlook it. It's not. We are not at this phase. For an organization to adapt and adopt it in a good way, you have to first put it inside the process and leave it run together with your people. As you see it progress, you can slowly leave some tasks in a totally automated mode. But if you put the autonomous side as a first role,
If you go from zero to hero, it won't work. It won't work. Elias, what type of people then do we need to hire in our teams in order to get that muscle built in order to produce systems like that and not go from zero to hero and make people either afraid or out of their comfort zone or even make the wrong decisions, actually?
It's a question that I will say that I have faced that too many times. I started my career in the early 90s as a programmer. I changed to system administrator in the middle of the 90s, and I ended on the .com boom with a network engineer diploma from one of the most famous companies at that time. So now we are facing the shift to the AI. So everything is a constant change. I will say that AI, whatever is generative, agentic, or whatever we are going to say it, announce it in the next days, we won't change and we won't eliminate the need of a human. It will elevate the need of the roles that the humans are going to have. Okay, so The software engineer, as the fellow from NVIDIA yesterday showcased, it has now a payment check that comes more than 100K. Maybe in the US or maybe in Europe. I think that the senior engineers in Greece are almost there. And till 2030, if I recall correct, the paycheck of that senior engineer is going down to zero.
Correct.
Are we going to face a time that we are not going to use any software engineers? No. Or those software engineers that are programming using the codes that we know here today, they have to change. They have to be the supervisors of the agents, the supervisors of the models. They have to be the users that are going to change the models and adapt the models to the current needs. So I can't say what kind of jobs are going to be on the next 2 or 5 or 10 years, but I do know that we need people that they can understand where the data relies, where the data is living, and where the data is being stored. Who is using our data? Who can understand if our data is used for correct or bad things. So we have to adapt to the new era. We have to see and foresee what kind of jobs will be related with AI. AI is here, will be for the next many years, till the next hype. So we have to adapt to that. We think about that AI came and everything is going to collapse. No, that's a fear. Erasmus says that there is a fear. We don't use AI constantly in our job to produce things that are related with goals that the top management has set. AI is not a tool for use by engineers. AI is a tool to accomplish the business needs. It's a business tool. In Clear Skies, you use AI. You use generative AI, you use agentic AI. You use generative AI in order to give the ability to the analyst of our clients to have a better result, a faster result of all the alerts that all the systems are producing. And you use agentic AI to automate things in order to contaminate and attack faster. So the ability of using both of the technology is giving the analyst more time. We have measured that it is about 48% of the daily routines, things that he was doing, is being done by artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So the fear that AI is going to make us lose our jobs is the same fear that I was hearing from my engineers, that business productivity suite from Microsoft, Office 365, M365, Azure is going to steal our job.
Yeah, okay, I see. We need to say one thing though, that definitely it's a tool belt, definitely it's here to help. We do, and I personally also from my teams tend to ask a bit more. I think the role of the software engineer and the people, we need definitely fearless people, people that are here to try and experiment, which also need companies that make them feel safe when they fail, because they're going to be failures, obviously. And we need to admit that we have expanded a bit the role of the software engineer, right? At the beginning it was just to write code, then they needed to understand systems, domain-driven design, testing, then they need to understand deployments, microservices, now they need to understand LLMs, and who knows what they need to understand more. Expanded, and if you're starting now, it might feel intimidating, but I'll take your point, we need to be fearless, but we need to provide these people with the environment that respects and makes them feel safe to fail. And I'll close with a question for Dimitris, and feel free all you to jump. So Dimitris, on the topic back on the agentic AI and the future, and the regulation and the ecosystem in the Greek economy and maybe on the EU, what would you see some real examples in the future where these things will definitely make an impact, improve, either the value of our products, the ROI of our companies,
I think currently there are two schools. One that says that by 2028 we will have the general intelligence, so everything is doomed. My perspective on that is I'm on the other side of things. I believe that Gen AI is a step forward, a huge step forward as a technology. The adoption is going to take time, as with all new technologies. For me, the next big leaps are going to be in robotics, space, and pharmaceutical drugs. Like, they will use that AI to improve these three areas. And we will see really extreme things in the next 5 years. That's my understanding. Now, the LLMs and the Gen AI and Gen AI, I think we have reached a peak, maybe a local peak, maybe a global peak, I don't know, we will see. What is going to happen from my perspective is that we need to see tools that the enterprises and the companies can actually use. And what I mean by that, I think there are three problems now that the agentic AI needs to solve. One is the trust. If I build a system, will it actually work, right, all the time? I think most of the enterprises don't want to take the risk at the moment. Even in our case, which we are in Instagram, we are customer-centric, we cannot risk that an AI will screw things up. The next thing is the integration with such systems. How do we keep the data? How do we structure the data? How we include them in our products? And of course, this is a governance and security issue as well. And the final thing is how to evaluate. Like, I think there's a discussion here about how to evaluate if an agent works or not, or how many times it works and how many times it doesn't work. And that needs time. People need to trust the system, right? I think in the near future we're going to see, as mentioned already, we are going to see like the agent will produce something and the human will accept it or deny it.
Yes.
Right? And over time, as the systems will get better, that acceptance will just be eliminated. But the eval part, I think it's a huge discussion at this moment. From my perspective, I haven't seen a system that actually works.
And what seems weird to me is that same question, it doesn't matter AI or not, it used to be the same with machine learning, it used to be the same with deep learning. We've seen Meta having actually people moderating videos instead of algorithms, so it seems that we haven't solved it, even now with data.
For me, the Gen AI is not intelligence. I'm not an expert, of course, but my understanding is not intelligence. It's a way to categorize, let's say, human knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And it can respond pretty nice, but I don't have the feeling that it's intelligence.
All right.
It might be a stepping stone for intelligence, but it's not intelligence.
Great. Any hot takes from Gerasimos or Elias about future systems built?
I believe that it will become intelligence when we will stop fearing the hallucination part. We are now trying to judge agentic or an LLM system with the way that we were used to judge expert systems. And we wanted to produce something that we thought that it will become, if it will become intelligent, we have to stop fearing the hallucination part. Apart from that, in order to make a prediction, let me say that if you ask an engineer to make a prediction, it's like asking a driver drive a car with looking at the rear mirror. I cannot really predict, I agree with the robots. Sorry, but this is my prediction as well. And I also want to see things in the healthcare.
Okay.
I believe that the healthcare has a lot of to be benefited from this type of system. However, a cultural shift needs to be there.
Great. Man?
So,
Elias?
as we have run out of time, I will try to be quick. As I said, I started as a software engineer. I was training case tools. For those that they don't know, the acronym is computer-aided software engineering. So back in the 90s, the actually that ComSys has produced was the idea how a system could be, okay, to run the whole code through a system and produce the forms and whatever it takes through a system. And it's now here, and it's produced on natural language. Even they have the ability to do a voice recognition, so they won't text anything on the system. So the technology is here. As I do agree with robotics, I do agree with defense. It's the new thing that we are going to see. All things that was manually then controlled is going to be automated, and the ability of the systems that collaborate with the human will be in high level, so we are going to trust those things.
Great, thank you. We're out of time. We have 4 questions. I want to ask them all. Sorry, I'll just pick the only one that was voted, which I also wanted to ask. How hard is it for a CTO to let go of the wheel a little and trust the system to make decisions? Before I let you answer, I'll just say a minor comment. As a CTO, you have already left the wheel a bit. You need to trust your teams first. But whoever wants to take that.
For me, it's not easy. Just to be clear. Yeah, I agree with you that being a CTO is you have to let go of the wheel. You have to trust the teams. But for these systems, I'm not sure yet. We have to, as I said before, we have to test them. We have to evaluate them. We have to make sure that the human approves of the response of the system. So for me, it's really to be provided.
To let completely go.
I would like to trust it because it provides a lot of optimizations, it provides a lot of economies of scale. At this point, there is no validation framework for me to trust it in the long term. I want to trust it, but I want to trust it after I saw it.
After you have tried it, and yeah, okay, I see.
Not trust. I believe that we can create a validation framework in order to let it be more and more autonomous as we move along.
Agreed. Elias? You agree. Thank you very much. It's been an excellent talk. And a big applause for our guests. See you all again. Thanks a lot.